Hey guys, Casey Hudson just tweeted and is asking for fan feedback for Mass Effect 4. Namely, is it going to be set before Mass Effect 1 or after Mass Effect 3? Sequel versus prequel. Normally, I would analyze, think about it through various perspectives, and summarize my opinion, but I'm busy with the Mass Effect adaptation project trailers here, so let's try something else. What can Simon come up with when trying to think up of stories to place in those timelines? I'm gonna go with what GamerMD83 said: different playable races, and so it's like the Dragon Age Origins. Alright, first race, Batarians, the race the Reapers attacked first. They were hit the hardest. Barely a few 100,000 survived, and they are spread across the galaxy in various refugee camps. Two political parties are formed, both trying to rebuild a new Batarian nation. One wants to keep the ancient tradition of Batarians alive and well, which means keeping slavery. Let's call them the Confederates. The other party wants the support of the Council, and they believe that they must join the galactic community in order to survive as a people. So they would be against slavery. Let's call them the Union. Enter our relatively well-off Batarian protagonists who might already own a few slaves before the war with the Reapers. These slaves could be your companions, who be used for various purposes. So the message here is quite mature. You need to, be balanced. Just because slavery is bad doesn't mean you go for like a few hours of gameplay emphasizing and reminding the player constantly that how slavery is just really bad morally. I would approach it differently. Give the player a lot of game mechanics that really benefits them by having slaves. Entice them with this selfish desire to control, and then bang, hit them hard with something confronting that really question whether you should keep these slaves around. And eventually, if the player's choice is to abolish slavery, the slaves that the player had initially turn out to be more than just servants, but truly someone's loyal friends. Ah. Alright, next race, Quarians. A young coming-to-age male Quarian goes on a new kind of pilgrimage. Why is this pilgrimage different? Well, the Quarian and the Gez now share the same homeworld, and it was their misunderstanding and mistrust that brought 300 years of conflict and war. So prevent that from happening again, every young Quarians will now go on pilgrimage with a Geth partner. So both races will better understand each other. They had to work together, get money, any technology and all that scrap, and steal things or whatever. Deal with all the racism toward Geth and Quarians. Our protagonist has to teach the Geth about moral codes. So think young John Connor teaching Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2, but in Mass Effect. Let's do a female race. Sorry. Well, nothing's coming to me. All I see is Liara. So, but I don't see why you just can't have Liara's story as the Shadow Broker. Once the common threat of the Reapers is gone, it's inevitable that all the old grudges will come back. It's up to Liara to use her intel and knowledge as a Shadow Broker and the tactics that she learned from Shepard to try and hold on to this fragile piece and prevent another full-scale war. No time to waste, let's do humans. There's probably need to be two human-oriented stories. I can only think of one at the moment, and that is the Firefly Han Solo space pirate sort of thing. When there is a huge disaster, there is a lot of assholes who try to profit from it, and you are that asshole. Trying to deal with the Alliance, trying to deal with Cerberus, and while doing Arya's biddings, because she's like Jabba the Hutt, and this set up for a lot of freedom to do whatever the player wants, good and bad. Whereas Shepard did do a lot of random things, but they're generally good things and really focused on trying to save the galaxy. But here, you do whatever you want. Good things, bad things, get a lot of money to upgrade your ship so we have stealth tech, and then you go somewhere that requires stealth tech, and then get more money, and then so you can build a house on Rannoch to support your production of the drug Red Sand. So this story is hard to write because it's so open. Torians. In my Unity ending epilogue, I said Garrus probably would be qualified for Spectre by now. he would be pretty experienced after all he has done with Shepard. Why not just have Nihilus do what Nihilus did? Have Garrus monitor and evaluate a couple of Spectre candidates, and you had to pick which one qualify. And let's not do the predictable RPG mechanism of the player just absolutely accepting everyone who wants to join them. Let's do something realistic. If you pick the wrong people in certain combination, Garrus will die. And guess what? The story goes on like it does in Heavy Rain. So Garrus was supposed to interact with some of the other characters, but he's dead, and so that characters in their playthrough might be at a higher risk of dying too, because they don't have Garrus to help them out. Or, on the other hand, if you were that space pirate and you went down a complete renegade pathway, and the council had to send a Spectre after you, you'd be glad that Garrus died or was injured, and so instead they sent some other ETS Garrus recruited, in which case you'd have a much higher chance of not being captured and get sent to space prison. Race number 6, Solarians. You are a retired STG member who, out of guilt on a mission on Tuchanka, took a baby Krogan home and raised it in secret with your wife. Now he's grown up and he wants to find out his identity and what it is to be a Krogan. He goes out and disappears. And now the adopted dad has to go and look for him, possibly taking him to very dangerous places like Omega and even Tuchanka, and of course the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. Yes, it was a Finding Nemo reference. Number 7, Krogans. You play as Grunt. Grunt is Rex's most deadly warrior. He is often used to resolve clan disputes. He is also the bodyguard of Rex and Eve's children. The twist comes when Rex is getting too much power to his head and he's losing grip on things. He's no longer the wise leader Shepard thought Rex would be. He's slipping. Grunt, however, remembers the legacy of Shepard. In my adaptation story, I'm building a mother-son relationship between Shepard and Grunt because Shepard was there when Grunt was born, so to speak. So Grunt is conflicted. He has to carry out Shepard's legacy, be loyal to the Urdnot clan and Rex, and have responsibility with the Krogan people as a whole. In other words, if Grunt disobeys Rex's crazy commands, it would be like your first warrior defying the command of his king. This would cause other clans to question Rex as well, and soon you might have a civil war at hand. On the other hand, if Grunt continues to do Rex's insane biddings, Grunt is now feeding the Mad King, and the Krogan people will suffer in the long run. You might have the choice of overthrowing Rex and become the new clan leader, but then you also have a protective responsibility to Eve and her children. They see you as Uncle Grunt, but then you murder their father. So, dilemmas. The Age story would be another human protagonist story. Maybe play as Conrad Werner. He created the Shepard religion, and he would wage a religious war against anyone who speaks bad things about Shepard, like Al-Jelani. Alright, so what can Simon come up with in terms of story that sets before Mass Effect 1? So yeah, nothing. And that's it. That's my opinion. In summary, the Age stories that I can come up with after Mass Effect 3 are 1. Batarian Union versus Batarian Confederacy. 2. Me and My Geth. 3. The Shadow Broker. 4. Space Pirates. 5. Spectre Garrus Vicarian. 6. Ex-STG Solarian Dad Finding Nemo, who is a Krogan. 7. Grunt, the first prime to Urdnot Rex. 8. That was a jerk, I ran out of ideas. So let me know what you guys think, and stay tuned for my Mass Effect 1 adaptation. It is not actually a comedy like the trailer suggests. It's a properly written serious attempt at an adaptation, but I like to write with humor, so there will definitely be some laugh out loud moments. But you have to be more patient for us to get there. Thanks.